Hi guys, good afternoon and good morning wherever you're watching from. This is Clarence of Kinky Talk Show. Today I have my guest here, such a beautiful, wonderful lady here. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, yeah, I'm Shanelle Monreal with Coldwell Banker. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for accepting my request. As you're a mortgager, do you want to tell us a little bit about mortgage?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm a realtor. So
you are a realtor.
yeah.
Yes.
So
I'm sorry.
basically, no, it's okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So part of real estate is getting the mortgage, and that's the first step. Getting pre-approved and getting qualified. So basically, what I help do is I help with anyone who's interested in buying, selling, building a new home, or investing. So all different kinds of, no matter what your situation is in real estate, I help with all of it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sure you meet a lot of clients, different people from different communities, different places, cities.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting. So do you want to tell us a little bit about how do you qualify to buy one or maybe to sell? You know what I mean? Like, how do you go through the process?
Yeah, so basically the process is the first step is getting pre-approved with a bank or lender. I usually recommend local lenders because of the fact that they have their reputation, they work directly with us, and then also, somebody that we know personally. So basically, to get pre-approved, they're going to ask for your last 2 months of taxes. If you're self-employed, it'll be your last 2 years, full tax returns, and your last 2 paycheck stubs, and your last 2 months of bank statements.
Okay. So, do you need some money to put down, especially for first homeowners?
There are a lot of amazing programs out there for first-time homebuyers, and most of my clients with just $1,000 down are getting into homes.
$1,000?
Yeah, these are government programs.
I didn't know. I usually thought you gotta get 30, 20,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's challenging with this economy. It's so hard. But if it's $1,000, I'm sure a lot of people will be very interested. Yeah, that's a deal. So what makes you to qualify to that, low payment of deposit?
Yeah, so that's why I'm encouraging a lot of people to look at buying right now that haven't considered buying, because of the fact that for less than a rental, when you're going to get in a rental, they ask for first month's rent, last month's rent, deposit. I mean, you can $5,000-$6,000 down at least, right? Well, if with these programs where you only need to put $1,000 down, it makes sense to take advantage of these programs. So these are government programs.
And, it's a government program.
And so for a lot of these programs, they only require about a minimum of 650 credit score.
Okay. So if you have a good credit, then that helps too.
Yeah.
So what about those who doesn't have good credit? What are you going to do?
Well, we have ways of helping people build their credit. So even if your credit isn't very high right now, you can still qualify around 500, 580. You just probably might not qualify for some of these down payment assistance programs.
Okay.
So if you're interested in qualifying for the program, we have credit service teams, and we have lenders that will work with you and come up with an individualized plan to help you get ready. So they'll look at your situation. They have simulators. They have ways of looking at the situation to see, okay, well, how do we get you there? So the first step is coming up with that plan.
Okay. I think that's very interesting. There are people who sometimes think of putting more amount down. So how does that help? Or maybe it does impact if you put 30,000 down, you do not qualify for the government, program. So you need to put like 50,000 down. So is that going to help your mortgage to go down?
You'll have a little bit of a smaller monthly payment, but it doesn't make that big of a difference. For every $10,000 you put down is only a difference of maybe $65 a month. So to the people that are wanting to drain their entire savings to put more down on the house, for that extra $65 a month, it's probably better to have your savings there for any emergency, and then take advantage of these programs. And if you can, it is always worth it to pay extra on your house, extra on the mortgage, to save yourself an interest and knock off a lot of those years in payments. Instead of 30 years, just by paying a few hundred extra, you could take off 7 to 10 years.
That's true. So I've had this program too, like they help you to buy a piece of land and then build it for you. How long does it take? And Do you need a lot of money to put down for that?
With new construction, it'll be a little bit more, but there are some, I've seen some that are, even 5% down with new construction.
Oh, really?
Sometimes the builder will finance, so if the builder finance, it's just a one-time close, which is a lot easier. So, it's good to look into those options. Right now, builders are offering a lot of credits as far as closing costs and upgrades. So it's a good time to look at building.
So how long does it take someone when they look for the house? So when you're showing houses, how long does it take for someone to decide, okay, this is now, how much time do I have?
Yeah, so basically if they're looking at building, you find the lot first, and it could take 3 to 4 months, and depending on weather and time of year. But if you're looking at purchasing a pre-existing home, once you get pre-approved, that lasts for about 6 months. And that can be, something that even if you need to extend beyond that, there's no rush. So I have people that they find a home within a few weeks of being pre-approved. That right house is out there, and they are ready. They find the right house, they lock in. And I have some that take up to close to a year. And so there's no rush. I mean, the goal is to find the right house.
You can extend time to look to you. You haven't got the one that you want.
Okay, yeah, so there's no pressure. I mean, I actually recommend seeing as many homes as possible, because if you don't have anything to compare it to, then you don't really know what you're really looking for. And as you start seeing homes, you'll know what are your kind of more deal breakers, and what are things that you say, you know what, I can do without the big yard, but I would like this, to make sure that I have the 4 bedrooms or things like that you're interested in, and looking at different homes in different neighborhoods as well.
That's true. So sometimes people want to buy houses, people want to sell their houses. Which is the right time to sell, especially right now? Is it the right time to sell, or should somebody wait a little bit more longer?
Right now, the average American has $150,000-$60,000 in equity in their home. Equity is the difference that you would walk away with if you sold your home. Right now, it's still a seller's market. So when we put homes on the market, they're selling very quickly, and they're selling because it's low inventory, above asking price often, because of the fact that there isn't enough homes on the market to meet that demand. So it's a great time. It really is a hot market, but it's also a great time to buy because of the fact that I hear all the time, people saying interest rates are high, I'm going to wait.
Right.
It's one of those things that if you wait, we don't know what the interest rates will do. If you lock in now, then if they go back down, you can refinance.
Okay.
If the interest rates go up, you'll be really glad that you bought now. Home values and home prices continue to go up always. So it's one of those things that it's better to buy now, refinance. It's anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000, somewhere around there, to refinance. It's worth it, and then you'll already have your home. But if the interest rates go up, you can't go back and back to this interest rate. So so it's definitely either way, whether it's buying, selling, investing. I mean, as we see, the rentals are also going up.
There's no specific time to do it. Just do it whenever you're ready.
For the people that, they're getting rent increases every single year. Rent is going up, so you might as well start building your own equity and have that go to your own property instead of paying rent is like 100% interest.
Yeah,
it really is.
It is, yes. And people invest, with having one home and buying another home.
Yeah.
How does that goes around? How do you do that?
Yeah, so
how do you qualify for a second home?
Yeah, there are different ways of investing. The very best way, in my opinion, is to live in a home, live in it for a year to 2 years.
Okay.
You'll avoid some of those high capital gains taxes if you were going to sell in 2 years. But while you live in that home, fix it up. Get a home that just needed some cosmetic things. You can paint, flooring, cabinets, things like that. And because you're going to get value when you sell it in a couple of years. Yeah. And you can get quite a bit of equity without being highly taxed.
So that means the tax fee goes down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like how much.
If you wait the 2 years, then you can avoid a lot of that. But if you decide you want to rent your property, what you can do is, this is kind of a neat thing. If you buy your first home with the home buyer program, right, you get into your home with just a few $1,000s down. Well, then you live in there a year. After that year, you can get a contract, like a lease contract, and rent out that property. And then when you rent out that property, once you have that a lease contract, that home is not considered your debt because it's paying for itself. So they won't count that debt when you go to get your mortgage on your next property. But you're going to live in your next property. So then you only need to put 5% down. Yeah,
that's a deal.
Yeah, so then you have your first home that pays for itself. You're building, you're building yourself up an investment, and then you will have you'll move into your next home and with only 5% down. But if you choose to stay in your first home and go and purchase an investment property, you would need to put 20% down. So I recommend the other way around.
I think I like that way.
Yeah.
So what's the keynote that you're gonna give somebody who is thinking about, who is worried about, okay, how do I do what do I do, like how do I go around and get this done? You know, some people don't buy homes because they get scared about, okay, the mortgage is going to shoot up, you know, the interest is going to go up, you know. So what are you going to advise?
Well, basically, I recommend getting a fixed rate loan, which the interest doesn't go up. If it's fixed rate, it stays at that interest rate. The only thing that can go up is taxes, which we know taxes are always going to be here and they're always going to go, but it's they don't go anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
But it makes sense to at least get into your home. Once it's a fixed rate. If they do go down, like I mentioned, you could go and refinance. But if they don't, you'll be definitely glad you locked in earlier. So for the people that are nervous, it's actually a better bet. I've actually had a lot of people contacting me lately that their landlords are selling their rentals, and now they need to be out, and it's just they're giving them 2 months, and so it's a really difficult situation.
Short time.
And so we can't always get them pre-approved within those couple of months, and so it's a really difficult situation. I'm saying, you know, let's get you to buy a place so that you won't be in that situation again. You know.
I've had this program too. I also forgot that there's this program that they do, like rent as you buy. How does it work?
I don't usually recommend the contract for deed or rent to owns. They have a lot more fees, and it's a contract with another person. So instead of a bank or
a contract.
And so it's a little more tricky, and I feel like you're not protected as well, because what I've seen some people get into some situations with contract for deed and things like that where they have balloon payments where all of a sudden they owe a certain amount and it spikes up and they can't afford. And so I recommend always going with
just buy own, like
a reputable bank, lender, credit union, because of the fact that if you get behind, you know, like we saw in COVID, people got behind, and the banks gave them time, forbearance. They gave them time to get caught back up. They didn't just the next month, if they didn't pay, you need to be out. Well, if it's just a contract with another person, they could take advantage of that situation, and they could have to leave and lose everything they invested in those months that they paid. So with a bank, they're going to give you a lot of months to get caught up if you get behind, and they want you to stay in the home. So I've seen some different things like that, but I think it's good to talk with a trusted lender, someone that can guide you and give you that information, and at least come up with a plan. And then once you have a plan, even if you're not ready now, that doesn't mean that you won't be ready. It's just about when and how do we get you there, and take some steps. Getting that first step is just contacting us.
So how can they get hold of you?
So we'll leave my contact info below, and if you have any questions, I'm available. Being a realtor, I work weekends, evenings. I try to work with your schedule, so I can. I'm available for questions or an in-person meeting at my office. We'll leave as much information as we can, website information and everything. So I'd love to help you.
Yeah, she is awesome. She's always responding on text. I always text her, and she's always responding very quickly, very fast. So please, if you're looking for a home, you want to buy a home, you're interested, you want to go for the loan or the bank, she's here. She will direct you. Check this link below here. Please contact her. Check our website. Text her, call her. She will be the best realtor to work with.
Yeah, I love what I do, and it really gives me so much pride to have a part in that. Helping people with the biggest purchase of their lives. Like that's what more can you say that you have a part in that? And it makes me feel really good. Each time it's as if I'm buying a home right there with them.
It's amazing when you buy a home, and she's gonna be like part of you. You know what I mean? Like going to be part
every
of the
step
family
of the way.
every step of the way. She's going to help you,
Yes.
direct you, and show you how you're going to be successful in buying your new home. So please, guys, don't forget to check her out and follow the link and make sure you contact her. So do you have anything else you want to tell them before we leave?
Maybe just a couple little tips. I had someone contact me the other day and they said, my credit's low and I really want to get into a property fast.
Okay.
And there's a little trick you can do. It's not always 100% guaranteed, but I've seen it work within 1 month. If someone that has good credit, 700 or higher, and has always paid their credit cards on time and kept a low balance, they can add you as an authorized user, and it doesn't affect that person at all. And they can add you onto their card.
I didn't know
and
that.
by the time it reports next, it can bring it up. Quite a bit.
Like
your points.
Boom.
Instead of that, otherwise
waiting for 6 months
it would take
to have a good
that
credit.
payment history. So
you see,
kind of a fast little loop, little trick there. So
you see, she gives you guys ideas and check that out.
So,
make sure contact her so that she can help you more and get that beautiful home that you're looking for. Thank you so much.
Yes, and I help
all
of central Minnesota. I travel too. So.
Oh yeah, she's all over central Minnesota. Did you tell me that you can travel for different states?
No, I just had Minnesota, state within Minnesota. But I also help people get connected with trusted agents if they are in another state. They can contact me for questions, and I can actually guide them and set them up with someone who would help them. So that's also nice to have that connection there too. So.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you.
Here at the show, and we would love to have you back again. Anytime, whenever you're ready.
Anytime.
Maybe if there are questions, usually people comment below. If you have a question or concern, let us know so that she can be able to solve and help you out so that you can get your new home.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks so much for having me, and I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone out there.